What's going on, everybody? We're going to give you a few minutes and let everybody get in here as we get ready. We're about to go live in just a few minutes and get ready to get this show started. And got a lot of big news to talk about that's happened over the last 24 to 48 hours. And I'm just making sure I spread the word out. Y'all make sure y'all spread the word out as well. Make sure y'all let everybody know to come on over to the show on YouTube. So it's live on YouTube right now, and also on the TNT Enforcers page, and also on my personal Facebook page. So if y'all are out there and y'all seeing this, make sure y'all share this show out to everybody. Share it out to all the Titan groups. Make sure everybody know that they need to come on in here and enjoy this show. And we are about to get ready to get started in a few minutes. And we got a lot to discuss, a lot to talk about, and we are going to have a good time doing it. And we're about to get ready to talk some Titans Bears. And we're also going to talk about these moves that have been made by the Tennessee Titans. And I'm going to get ready to also go live on Instagram as well in just a moment. So, y'all let me get everything set up. We're about to get ready to get started. And I thank y'all for tuning in with me. And we're about to have us a rocking good time. Y'all doing all right out there? See, we got a lot of people in here. We got Chuck, we got Easy Mick, we got Jameson, we got Mr. Titan, we got Big Old Titan. I know he was in here too. So I appreciate everybody coming on in. And we are about to get this show rocking and rolling. Let's see, I got maybe one more group I need to add it to. So that we can go ahead and get this road on the show and everything. So I think I've done enough. So let's get this party started.
Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tightened up. I've been scoping from the sideline, waiting for the right time to sing the freshest team in scrimmage. So I'm busting y'all. Welcome to We got this hit. Don't worry about it. We got this hit. Just sit it so. I'll tell you how to do it. Don't worry about it. See, we got this hit. It's a brand new dance and it's about to go live. Tighten up, Nashville, rep the 615. First you tighten 2 steps, step to the right. Then you tighten 2 steps, step to the left. Blue jerseys everywhere. Game face, yeah, we got it all. Sticking out our chest. Beating on it like it's King Kong. Count that. It's about to get her up. Here come the train, y'all. Tennessee, tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Tighten up. Let's get tightened up. Sticking out my check. You know that I can steam tall. Sticking out my check. You know that I can steam tall. Tighten 2 steps, step to the right. Then you tighten 2 steps, step to the left. Nothing get in my check. You know that I can steam tall. Sticking out my check. You know that I can steam tall.
Good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody doing? Welcome into a brand new edition of Titans in Truth. I'm your man, Chris, aka Blu Enforcer, and we're going to have a really, really good episode on this evening. Let me take y'all off so y'all can see me now. There we are. Now y'all can see me. And make sure y'all share this show out. Y'all know where to share it off on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on Twitter as well. So we definitely gonna have a good time on this show, and I'm glad everybody is here. Let's see, Miss LaShandra, what's going on? Welcome in, Jay here. Excited to see what the defense is gonna look like. Jamar, we got Reggie. What's up, man? We got P. Hicks up in here, Titan Hugo up in here. Looks like we got a lot of people. So make sure y'all keep spreading the show out. We got Weezy Bowski subscribed. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the love. And Mr. Titan, so y'all come on in here. And we're gonna have some fun. Titans Mafia, what's going on? as we get ready to get started on this show, I'm trying to get my phone to act right so I can go live on Instagram. But it's starting to my phone doesn't act right sometimes. So we are going to we're gonna press on without and keep this show rocking, as a lot of things have been happening. A lot of things have been going on ever since the Tennessee Titans 31-20 embarrassing loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's basically, John Robinson has basically decided it's time to do a little house cleaning. It's time to clean up some mess. It's time to get rid of some trash. And that's exactly what they've done. But first thing, before we do get to that, I'm going to be quick. We're going to kind of change it up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and give out my two-tone blue star of the week, because it really wasn't too many nominations to go out there for it. So, of course, I'm going to give it to Corey Davis, who had 8 catches, 128 yards, and a touchdown in this game. Was really looking good. I know they really did a pretty good job on A.J. Brown, even though we really didn't go to him like we should have. He had 4 catches, 24 yards, and a touchdown. Derrick Henry had a quiet 18 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown, I believe, in this game as well. But I got to give it to Corey Davis as the two-tone blue star of the week. Now, I want to ask y'all, who is the dunce of the day? Because there's a lot of nominations to go around. And two of those nominations are, as of right now, are no longer on the team. So that's something that we could definitely discuss, is that a couple of nominees are not on the team anymore. There was that embarrassing third down play. It was 3rd and 10. Harold Landry had 2 shots at bringing Burrow to the ground for a sack, and he nearly got the first down. He picked up 6 yards in the process. He picked up 6 yards in the process, but that was just an embarrassing play, definitely. So I know there's a lot of you who are already going after a certain somebody, but some other guys, you could definitely look at Clowney. He missed a sack or 2 in the game as well. Ryan Tannehill didn't have a great game. Jonathan Suckstowski missing another kick. He's now 10 of 17, while, of course, I watched the Bears game recently, and a former Titans kicker has basically cleaned up his act. Shockingly enough, former Titan kickers are doing pretty good right now, whereas we still can't solve our kicking problem. So that's definitely something right there. And obviously, special teams has a lot to do with it. They gave up a nice return. You had the missed field goal. You had the bad snap on an extra point. And then Brett Kern gets hurt. So there's definitely a lot to go around. AZ Big says special teams and defense. Chuck Corley says, get out ski. Get out ski is a witness protection. Yeah. And Santos and Shakeup do look good, even though Cairo Santos will be returning to the House of Horrors that is Nissan Stadium this coming Sunday, because the last time he was in that stadium, he missed 4 field goals against Buffalo and was immediately taken away. So obviously enough, I think a lot of people are saying it correctly, that the two-tone blue, that the dunce of the day definitely has to be former Titans cornerback Jonathan Joseph, who he was targeted 11 times, gave up 8 catches and a touchdown. I believe it was like 8 catches, 90, I want to say 92 something yards and a touchdown in the game. And so he was just he was victimized in the worst possible way. Now, Suckstowski, he helped too. And defensively, we just did not look like ourselves. I mean, we haven't really looked like ourselves at all this season. And I mean, it's just, it's, you know, it's messed up. And Titan Hugo says defense and Gostowski are the problem. Offense need help. Can't go 16-0 without help. Well, we're not going to be able to go 16-0 because we are 5-2. So going 16-0 is not going to happen. But we still got to, fix some things up. Jahir 8 says Bo Brinkley. I mean, that's an honorable mention, definitely. A lot of people harping on Gostowski, on Suckstowski, I should say. But yes, I'm going to give the dunce of the day to Jonathan Joseph. And I'm also going to give an honorable mention to Bo Brinkley, who has struggled the last couple of games. Ever since he's come back from COVID, he has struggled. And he has struggled mightily. And he has struggled mightily in a lot of very, very bad ways. So, and I'm sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties with my phone, so I am not live on Instagram tonight. Will not be going live on Instagram tonight. We're just gonna keep going the way that it is right here. But yeah, I mean, just horrific play from everybody in those games, and which leads me to what we were just talking about. The Tennessee Titans have decided they've had enough. So as of yesterday, all this came down the pipe yesterday at about in between the hour of 4:30 and about 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon Central Time. The Tennessee Titans cut Jonathan Joseph, they cut Bo Brinkley, and also cut the Frohead Vic Beasley. So all three of those guys are out for the Tennessee Titans right now. And so, I definitely want to get your comments on what y'all think of these moves. I have seen a few people come up with some comments already. I know a few people said, that the defense could be better, addition by subtraction. Let's see. Yeah, Reggie Smith coming in saying no more Joseph for quarterbacks to pick on, addition by subtraction. What's going on, everybody on Facebook? Chuck Corley says fear of job loss, hell of a motivator. That could definitely be that. I know LaShonda says she can't wait till Sunday. We're definitely going to talk about Desmond King in just a bit. And then, of course, Jahir Straight says, I'm excited to see what the defense is like now. I agree. I'm definitely looking forward to see what the defense is going to look like. Jamar Coleman saying, I bet you that defense plays better walking on eggshells. And they probably are. The pressure's on. The pressure is definitely on. You got to step up. You better step up or you're going to be out. And, on Facebook, I have to give some credit. I have to give some dunce of the day consideration, even though I didn't name them. Coaching was an issue. Now, I will say after the game, definitely Mike Vrabel does deserve some dunce of the day consideration because he's in control of the defense. And, yes, he brought in Joseph. The defense struggles. The defensive struggles start with him and having Bowen calling plays. That is true. That is very, very true. A lot of this has to fall on Vrabel's shoulders defensively because, number one, he didn't hire a defensive coordinator. And, Shane Bowen is the de facto defensive coordinator when, honestly enough, Vrabel's the one that's in control. And, he basically came out and said in the press conference, he said, lack of defensive coordinator I am positive that is not the issue. Honestly enough, that sounded arrogant. That sounded like, he shifted blame to the players and didn't put no onus on himself. And I'm like, hasn't this team always been about accountability? holding yourself accountable. You make a mistake, and he should be saying, this is on me. And he said that in the press conference. He's like, look, if you're gonna blame somebody on the defense, blame me. And we are gonna blame you. We are definitely gonna blame you because you're the head coach. You're the one that thinks you know all, be all when it comes to defense. And right now, it's not looking good. So it is what it is. With that. So I mean, Vrabel better quit being all arrogant, thinking he knowing everything, and look to advice. I'm thinking he should have gave the play caller responsibility to Jim Haslett. He's been a player, he's been a head coach, he's been a defensive coordinator, knows what he's doing. I would have gave him that. Titan Hugo says Vrabel needs to give up defensive play calling and get a real defensive coordinator. I agree totally. Don't call the defense. Give it up, let somebody else do this. Chuck Corley says, get Joseph a room at the Burn Center. Nope, he has a wing with his name on it. Kingston says Big Jeff goes missing for long stretches. I don't know if I necessarily believe that. I mean, the Bengals did do a good job on him on Sunday. And I mean, I think a lot of that goes to lack of pass rush. If you don't have a pass rush, if Clowney and I should say former Titan Vic Beasley wasn't getting to the quarterback and Landry too, then you double down on Big Jeff, make sure he's not a factor. So Big Jeff is probably getting double teamed a lot because, I mean, offensive linemen like, why should we be afraid of Clowney or Landry? We could play them one-on-one and do it just fine. So that's something that has to happen. We're going to have to get something edge-wise. Zach says, do you think we'll sign an edge rusher free agency? I don't know. They're saying they're going to look within, and they may even look outside. Right now, it looks like they're going to probably bring up Roberson, maybe even a Wyatt Ray, maybe see what they have. We're going to talk about the trade in just a second. And King Isaac, I'm afraid it happened. We really lost to the Bengals. Yes. My younger brother, Christian, won't stop talking about it. And even though I've demanded that he just stop trying to blast my team all over Facebook. But, I mean, hey, we lost to them like idiots. So, I mean, it's just bad. Let's see. On Facebook said we wasted $9.5 million on Beasley. And John Robinson came out and had a press conference this morning. And he came out and basically said, look, it's my fault. I take the blame for that. I'm paraphrasing. He's basically saying, I took a swing, thought we could get a good pass rusher. It just didn't work out. And, and a lot of people probably say, you know what, we should have kept Kamale Correa. And maybe we should have. But Correa wanted out. Correa didn't want to be here because, he was complaining about not getting enough snaps. And the thing about it is, I kind of use that towards, a lot of you may not even remember this, but I'm a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies. And a long time ago, Allen Iverson was a member of the Memphis Grizzlies, played like 3 games for the Grizz. And, he decided to stop because he wasn't getting enough playing time. And he was playing behind Mike Conley, who was the point guard at the time. And all I kept thinking was, AI, just keep your mouth shut. Mike Conley is struggling. If you just keep your mouth shut, keep your head down, you're going to play more. He didn't, and obviously he didn't play a lot, and Mike Conley went on to do pretty well. So, I mean, Kamale Correa could have just kept his mouth shut. He'd be playing a whole lot more now. So, I mean, there were a lot of struggles. Jamar said we need to get Wade Phillips on the phone. I don't think it's going to happen in the middle of the season. P. Hicks says, how do we feel about Evans? We'll definitely talk about that in just a bit. Roberson, I think he's going to get the call up now. RG Titan 901 says His reps in Atlanta should have been a red flag. And you know what? They talked to some people in Atlanta, and there wasn't really a lot of good to say about Beasley. You know what I'm saying? That he might be lazy and things like that. And he showed it. So, honestly enough, I'm glad he's gone. And, it was a messed up waste, but it is what it is. But on the good note, the Tennessee Titans did make a trade before the trade deadline, and they traded with the LA Chargers. They gave up a 6th-round pick for defensive back Desmond King, formerly of the Iowa Hawkeyes. And Desmond King was a draft pick, played at Iowa, was a very good player. Amani Hooker is familiar with him. I thought this was a very, very solid pickup. I think this is a steal that we got him for, that we gave up just a 6th-round pick for him. So, I mean, we still got a first. We got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 6s. We still got 2 6th-round picks with that. So, I like the pickup. I thought we were probably going to get Stephon Gilmore, but I still like the pickup of Desmond King. He can help in a lot of different phases. He can definitely play in the slot. He also could be a big help in punt return on special teams, which is something that can maybe take the reins off of Khalif Raymond, let him just do kick returns and things like that. So I definitely like Desmond King. He ain't afraid of contact. That much is true. He's a certain knack of intelligence. Definitely can read routes very well. Now, there were some issues in LA with Anthony Lynn, but maybe a change of scenery could do a lot of good for Desmond King. So that might be something that I just think that this is a great pickup. And I think somebody asked about is it true that Desmond King is not going to be available to play Sunday? Now that depends, because in protocol, and again, thank y'all for tuning in. We got like 35 people watching. Let's keep getting that number up. Get them likes up. Hit the like button for me. Help me out. But yes, Facebook says, is it true King cannot play this week? No, that is not necessarily 100% true yet. Desmond King technically could possibly play. He has to go through 5 days of COVID testing. He's got to go through 5 days of that. And if he does get through that, then he'll be able to play on Sunday, because the earliest he may be able to get in the building is on Saturday. On Saturday is about the earliest he could get to be in the building to play. So that is a possibility. With that, I'm trying to see if I can get back on Instagram right now, seeing if I could possibly get that started. Let's see. Just trying to make sure I can get in live on Instagram. Looks like I am now live on Instagram. So if you're on IG, y'all can come on in and join the conversation. We were just talking about some of the moves that the Titans have made. Having a few technical difficulties, y'all. Y'all forgive me for that. There we go. Y'all forgive me for that. We just having some things going on, and we're going to adjust and keep going. One thing that we do on Titans of Truth, we adjust and adapt. We adjust and adapt to the situation. There we go. And everything is all right. There we go. So now we're live on Instagram, and we are still here on YouTube and Facebook. So, yeah, the Desmond King pickup, I like it a lot. I think it's going to definitely help. He may be able to get into the building as early as Saturday after going through COVID testing. And, once he passes the COVID testing, he'll be able to practice and may even be able to suit up this Sunday against the Chicago Bears, although I do find it a tad bit unlikely that is going to happen. Because I mean, he's got to get through he's got to get through the protocols and then get with the team. But he is going to be in on Zoom meetings and things like that. And I mean, Vrabel, definitely talked a lot about him. So there is a possibility. There's definitely a possibility. But I think we look better as well, because it may seem that with this move and cutting Jonathan Joseph, there may be a chance we finally get Adoree Jackson back on the team. So there is a good chance that Adoree could finally be put up. Let's see. Jesus DS is most underrated Titan YouTuber. I appreciate that. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate it. AZ Mick is watching highlights. That's what's up. Corley says, yeah, he's a monster. Joseph practiced social distancing on the field. That's something right there. But Sean coming in says, yes, you could plug him in right at slot corner. He's a top 10 slot corner. 5-day process. He is in Zoom meetings. He says there's a 75%. He thinks there's a 75% chance he'll play. That is possible. And again, as Jameson says, Saturday is crucial. I definitely agree on that. It is very, very crucial to him possibly playing. A lot of people say anything's better. Zach Carpenter coming in saying Adoree full practice today. Yes, he was back on the practice field. Some other guys were not practicing, but I think that was more for rest. So I definitely like the trade. But let's go ahead into pick my brain. Pick my brain. So let's get some questions in. And like I said, and we could definitely do some more talking and everything on that. What's up, Billy Scott? Yeah, it is time to get back on a winning streak, and we have an opportunity to do that. And what's up to everybody on Instagram watching right now as well. And if you are trying to join the Enforcers page, I will add you after the show. So I will definitely add you on. I appreciate everybody coming on in with that. So let's get a few questions out. And on Facebook saying, do you think he's a Logan Ryan upgrade? I think so. Now, he doesn't have the greatest quickness in the world, but I think he's a lot faster than Jonathan Joseph. I think anybody is. DNS, what's going on? I appreciate that. You corrected me on the Cojones Grande last night. But I appreciate you being here. Billy Scott says, what is going to be our record the rest of the season? I said that the ceiling is 12-4, which means we got to go 7-2 the rest of the way, or 11-5, which means we got to go 6-3 the rest of the way. And I'm going to go back up and get some questions too. Terrence Young coming in from Indiana says, who is your biggest disappointment, Joseph or Beasley? I'm going to have to say Beasley is the bigger disappointment. I honestly thought he could bring some pass rush ability to the team. I thought he could probably definitely help with that, but it didn't happen that way. Courtney, what's up, Courtney? How you doing? Welcome on in here. Said we could have kept Logan Ryan or Jarrell Casey if we were going to throw away $9 million. Two-tone Mafia. That's true. I mean, I think we still could have gotten Clowney and at least kept Casey or Logan Ryan at this rate. So I definitely agree on that. Let's see. I'm going to try to skim up and get some more questions because I know there were a couple of more. Let's see. And again, I thank y'all for sticking with me. Referees were terrible too, Joseph. You're right. The referees, they were horrible. That pass interference call that Jayon Brown had the interception with Malcolm Butler, that was terrible. They should have called unnecessary roughness on the hit on Adam Humphries. That was messed up. And now Humphries is going through concussion protocol to get back on the field. So I don't know if he's going to be available this week. We'll definitely have to see. Zach saying, do you think we'll sign a free agent pass rusher? I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I think they're definitely going to take a look at Roberson and Wyatt Ray. I think they're going to look at those two guys first. I think that's what they're going to do. And then maybe they bring in somebody from the outside. That's something that I think that they might do. Mr. Titan says, at least you're not freezing like me last night. Shockingly, I'm glad I'm not freezing up too. So, I mean, that's a good thing. So, I think people would tell me if I froze up. Gostowski and witness protection. Probably hiding because he knows he's in trouble. He better get his kicks together or he going to be out looking for a job. So, trying to see if there's any other question. Is the time now to prove Titans are legit? Titan Hugo says, yeah. Because we have a stretch of games. We got the Bears. We got 2 games against the Colts. And we got the Ravens in between. We need to go 3-1 in this stretch. And I think if we do that and we go 3-1 and we're 8-3 or something like that, 8-3 or even 9-2 at this point, then yeah, we might be back to being legit. We might definitely be back to being legit. Let's see. We got a few more. Definitely a few more questions. Let's see. We need Brown to step up. What have I thought about Evans? Evans has struggled. I'm disappointed with Rashaan Evans. I thought he would be taking another step up. I mean, Jayon is starting to kind of bring it around, but Rashaan Evans is not playing up to the par of a first-round pick like I thought he would when we drafted him. I mean, I was very excited at first when we drafted Rashaan Evans, but he's been on the downside a bit. He needs to pick it up and play a little bit better. I don't know what's going on with him. Michael Vrabel said, didn't like it here anyway. Beasley. And he said that he liked the tweet when he got released. I'm like, I don't care. Zach Carpenter said, what will happen when Henry and Mack meet one-on-one? Hopefully, Derrick Henry runs them over. Let's see. On Instagram, Deborah Gonzalez 282 says we need to get our crap together. I agree. We definitely need to get our crap together. Absolutely. On Facebook says, how do we fix the pass rusher struggles with an upgraded talent we have? Got to win some one-on-one battles. And one thing that I am noticing, and I could be wrong, is that I don't see a lot of technique being used. It's like they're just trying to bull rush their way upfield or use speed to get somewhere. I'm like, there is a such thing as technique. If you look at TJ Watt, how he got his sack on Ryan Tannehill, is that he used a swim move, which is a move that I would use. I think he stole it from me. I mean, you got to use some swim moves, a spin move, maybe a rip or something like that. You've got to use some other move instead of a straight speed bull rush to get to the quarterback. I mean, we're making it too easy for the tackle to block us. So we really need to use that. Maybe we could get back to blitzing and using some stunts, because a lot of times, because Joseph had to play so far off the ball, we could not blitz, because if we blitz some, we leave him one-on-one, and we've seen what has happened. Do you think we should? Jamar said, do you think we should bring Wake back? I don't know. I think that ship has sailed. I would say no to that. And I mean, I know there's also Clay Matthews. I don't know. I think they might be a bit over the hill as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know how much help those guys could definitely be. We'll definitely see about that. Vrabel says, I got the Ravens beating the Colts. Yeah, that would be nice. Let's see. Detrick Witherspoon, what's going on, says, why have we stopped running the ball first? Because I think a lot of teams know that we're going to run the ball. So I think they're trying to use the pass to set up the run. And I mean, I think that's a good idea. But at the same time, you got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to run the football, control the clock. If you could do that, you can win a lot of games. Because right now, we are not looking good as far as time of possession. And if the defense don't stop nobody on third down, that's less time the offense has the ball. On Facebook, they said last year felt like the Broncos game was the turning point. Maybe this Bengals game was the turning point of us. We'll definitely have to see about that. On Facebook says this is what happened when we lose Tyrone McKenzie. I don't know if it would have made much of a difference or anything. I don't know if that'll make much of a difference. But still didn't help. Let's see. DNS says, do you think Kern had a say in the release of Brinkley? Yeah, positive thoughts on him as a long snapper not too long ago. I don't know. I think JRob just saw what was going on with Bo Brinkley. He struggled. He struggled ever since he came back from COVID. Low snap against Pittsburgh. Low snap against Pittsburgh on the extra point and also on the punt. That Brett Kern had to basically throw the ball away. And then he had the low snap on the extra point. He also had the bad snap that hurt Brett Kern's wrist on a punt. So, Bo Brinkley hadn't been the same since he came back off of the COVID list and everything. So, and Courtney agrees with me, no technique. Zach says Casey would have always thrown linemen different moves. He was a technician. I miss him too. AZ Mix says, who will be punting for us? I don't know. They brought in a couple of punters to try out. I think they brought in LaShawn Edwards or something from formerly of the Jets. They brought in Dustin Colquitt, who punted for the Chiefs. I think they brought in like 3 or 4 punters, and I don't think they'll be able to get on the field until Saturday. They may have to choose one of them. They haven't said anything about Brett Kern just being out, but they said he's going to miss some time. So that's all that I know. But y'all did a great job bringing some good questions in. And if there's a couple more questions, we'll definitely answer that. But we're going to go ahead and let's preview this game against the Chicago Bears. The Bears coming off of a loss in overtime to the New Orleans Saints. So they are now 5-3, and we are 5-2, and we got to get back in the win column. It's time to get to 6-2. And I see my homegirl, Miss D's 256. How's it going? But it's time to announce the Blu Enforcer 4 points to victory. And these are ways that I think the Tennessee Titans can get this win over the Chicago Bears. Some of these may sound cliche, but there are different meanings behind it. Number one, again, control. With this Bears defense, this Bears defense is very, very good. The thing I noticed with the Saints had a difficult time running the football. And, the Bears were very good at stopping the run, at least in this game, even though they're 16th against the run, giving up 120 yards a game. I say we preach patience. We got to control the clock. We still got to do what we do best, and that is run the football. Do what we do best, and we could cause a lot of damage, and we could definitely do some things. I think the middle of the field, that's where Ryan Tannehill could kind of pick this team apart a little bit, because there were some openings. The Saints used Alvin Kamara out of the backfield a whole lot. Definitely as far as getting some short passes. And it seemed like the Bears were trying to not give up the big play. And so they tried to keep everything in front of them. So we just got to be methodical in marching down the field. And from time to time, Ryan Tannehill can take a few deep shots against this Bears defense, but they are very good because, they got Eddie Jackson, you got Kyle Fuller, a couple of good corners, and defensive backs back there. Now, number 2. And Dedrick Witherspoon says, I think King will give us that extra second for our D-line to get there. I definitely hope so. Number 2, the key word is contain. And I give you 2 words. KHALIL MACK. you got to make sure to do whatever you can to make sure Khalil Mack does not wreck the game, because he can do that all by himself. And most of the time he lines up on the right side of a defense, left side of the offensive line, which means he's going to be lined up over Ty Sambrailo a lot in this game. So Ty Sambrailo is going to have his work cut out for him. And we're probably going to have to do some chipping. We're definitely going to have to do a lot of chipping in this game to make sure to help Sambrailo, even though Sambrailo has not done too bad of a job in there. Help, blocking on his own, but we're probably going to do a little bit of chipping to help him out a bit, because Khalil Mack, he is not just a game changer. He's not just a game wrecker. He is a game dominator. He's the best. He's one of the very best in this league. So I was gonna say shut him down, but contain him as best as you can. That's all we could definitely do. A matchup that I'm definitely looking forward to is seeing how Derrick Henry does against that front. They have a lot of good players on that front. Brett Urban, the former Titan, is on that front. You got, I believe, Akeem Hicks. You got Roquan Smith, that's a good linebacker. Danny Trevathan is a good linebacker. Robert Quinn also. So they have a very, very good front seven. They have a very nice defense, without a doubt. Number 3, on the other side of the ball, find a way to get sacks. I mean, we couldn't get a sack against a makeshift Cincinnati offensive line who were missing 4 starters. We're going into the same situation against the Bears where they may be missing 3 or 4 starters. If we can't get sacks on this anemic offense, then the front 7 or the defensive line really does suck. And that's saying a lot. And we also need to be prepared if they may throw a wrinkle in the plan and have Mitch Trubisky in the game. So we do have to be prepared just in case Mitch Trubisky enters the game at some point. Joseph said, I got my own key to victory. Block for the ball carrier. I think that's a pretty easy part to that. And everything. So that's number 3. 4, and of course, we know this is getting old, and I'm going to keep hammering this until they get better at it. Get off the damn field on 3rd down. This is getting really old, and I'm kind of getting sick of talking about it. But I mean, it's the fact that every week it seems like we're getting worse. We gave up 10 of 15 on 3rd down against the Bengals. 10 of 15. And Joe Burrow was basically like, okay, where's 33? Where's Joseph? Where's Joseph? Okay, there he is. That's where I'm going. He looked for Joseph the whole time and went to nobody else. Because Malcolm Butler's been doing pretty well. Malcolm Butler's played well, but Jonathan Joseph is horrible. That's why he's cut. He's no longer on the team. So we definitely need to get off the field because we're giving up almost 62% on 3rd down, which is historically horrific. Without a doubt. And the matchup I'm looking for, again, the front 7, the defensive line against a banged-up offensive line. If we can't get a pass rush against this offense, against a statue like Nick Foles, I don't know what else to tell you. Because we're going to be going up against nothing but good offenses here on out. Colts have a great offensive line. Baltimore has a pretty decent offensive line. Green Bay has a decent offensive line, even though they've had some issues. Cleveland, historically, has had a good offensive line. So, it's time to get our act together. It's time to fix some stuff. So, I'm going to read some comments before I give my prediction. Facebook says, Sambrailo has done a pretty good job, to be honest. For the most part, yes, I do agree with that. He has done a pretty good job. DNS says, I've observed we went away from the run, then pass that's worked for us last season. Not sure what Arthur Smith is doing, to be honest. I I'm hoping that Arthur Smith will quit trying to get too cute sometimes and everything. I know he's trying to spread the ball around a little bit and things like that, but you got to stick to what you know. Stick with what got you to the dance. But a lot of teams do try to just pack the box to stop Derrick Henry, and that does open up some things for Corey Davis, for A.J. Brown, and they're going to be a challenge. Jonnu and Ferguson need to step up and get more involved. They weren't involved as much in the Cincinnati game as they should be, probably because they're trying to help chip in on the offensive line as well. So that's the things that we got to do. But my prediction is this. The Titans will win and go to 6-2, but I have no idea what the score is going to be. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm just saying I have no idea. I don't. Joseph says 32-17, Titans win. I don't know. I'm just going to go out on a whim, and I'm going to say I'm going to go 20. I'm going to go Titans 21, Bears 17. That's what I'm going to go with. 21-17. And I think the Titans are going to get the wins. On Facebook, says Arthur Smith is filling himself with all this head coaching talk. He needs to use his tight ends more, especially Jonnu Smith. I don't think necessarily he's looking at head coaching talk. That's a lot of media out there talking about, he could be possibly gone as a head coach next year. But I mean, way it's going right now, if things don't get it together, he might not be a head coach just yet. Although the offense has been looking pretty good, the offense kind of came back down to earth against Cincinnati and against Pittsburgh, but that's mainly because we haven't had the ball very much. Third down defense could cure some of that if they get better. On Facebook also says Arthur Smith does tend to get way too cute. Sometimes he does do that. There are times that Arthur Smith does get a little bit too cute. He just needs to stick to the game plan. Don't get too cute. I mean, it's okay sometimes to throw a little reverse or something like that in there every now and then, but don't get too cute too often. Sometimes just stick to the game plan. Stick with what works. If running the ball and we're just running through a defense, keep doing that. You ain't got to pass the ball. I think A.J. Brown and Corey Davis are just fine with winning. That much is a fact. And that's what I think on that. But now to end the show, we're going to pay tribute to an icon in the movie world. This was brought to me by Joseph Rodriguez, and we found this out, I want to say it was either Monday or Tuesday. We had the passing of a legend in the movie era, and that would be my guy, Sir Sean Connery, who passed away at the age of 90. He passed away at the age of 90. I mean, a absolutely fantastic actor. Of course, most people remember him for playing James Bond. 007 was the original James Bond. That's what a lot of people remember him in. Movies like Goldfinger, Thunderball, with Dr. No, things like that. I do remember those movies. But the movie that I resonate more with Sean Connery is also The Hunt for Red October, Robin Hood as King Richard. But the main movie I remember him for, Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I loved Sean Connery in that movie, and he was incredible. I mean, a class act, a class individual, and I mean, just a absolutely fantastic actor. He was around with guys like Harrison Ford. I don't know if he was in a movie with Liam Neeson. I can't remember, but I mean, he had all the girls just going crazy as 007. So we definitely remember that, but definitely rest in peace to the great late Sir Sean Connery. Sir Sean Connery. With that. So AZ Big says 007 Bond. Yep, he is definitely remembered for Bond. And Dedrick Witherspoon said, shaken, not shaken, not stirred. Absolutely. Dedrick said no more Henry screens. Now the Henry screens worked. The Henry screens have worked sometimes, just hasn't worked recently because a lot of teams are keying in on it. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's gonna just about do it for this episode. I'm gonna get ready to get off of Instagram. So had to let that go. And get ready to get up out of here and get ready to call it a night. I thank all of y'all for tuning in. Y'all make sure y'all share this show out. I hope everybody has some fun. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much. But once again, we got to get ready for Sunday. We got the Bears coming in town. We got to give them a warm Titan beatdown and get ready to get this win and get to 6-2. So thank y'all for tuning in to Titans the Truth. I'm finna get out of here on a good note. Love y'all. Share the show. Good night, y'all. You mad?